I have always been interested in and wondered if the ACT accurately predicts a student's success in college. I went around interviewing other students to get a better grip on what other people think if the ACT does predict success of a college student or not. Robin, do you think the ACT accurately predicts college success?
I'm going to have to go with no. I feel like the ACT is just, it's a test, and if you're a student who's not a very good test taker, I don't believe you're going to do very well. The timing also is unfair because, you know, some students don't perform well under pressure.
I don't, because I had a friend in high school who failed every single class he was in, but he still got a 34 on the ACT.
I think it gives the college a good idea where they are at academically coming into college, but I think success is determined by study skills.
I don't think it does.
Yes, I think the ACT can predict success in college because if you're willing to have studied in high school so that you do well in the ACT, you're probably going to continue that for college.
In doing these interviews, all but one interviewee thought the ACT was able to predict her college success. With the interviews, sources, and my own personal opinion, I will discuss the facts that led me to believe the ACT is not able to predict college success. I contend that certain factors and variables are not taken into consideration when evaluating the ACT's ability to measure student performance in college. I am not in favor of this idea because of several reasons. Sure, the ACT may show how good someone may be in taking timed tests, but it doesn't account for the chances in succeeding or failing in college. When I started high school, I was aware that I would be taking the ACT, although I did not take any initiative in studying for it, or even worrying about it. I have always been one for studying more than usual, in part because I believe that I have testing anxiety. I believe there would be no point in studying very much if it's based on common sense. I've thought about how much different college would be without one test controlling or affecting my life. I believe that with taking CITS, college in the schools, credits in high school, and achieving a 4.0 on these CITS classes, I should qualify for other opportunities. I personally think that schools should not weight acceptance so much on the ACT. So I asked myself, how can one standardized test predict success? And does the ACT predict success in college? The reason I do not believe that the ACT is qualified to predict the success of college students is because every student is completely different in one way or another. There are millions of factors that go into testing, especially standardized testing. I want to discuss why the ACT does not predict success in college because of the reasons I will share with you. As for a little background and ethos on the ACT program, I will briefly cover where it came from and how it originated. In 1959, Everett Lindquist, a professor at the University of Iowa, launched the forerunner to the current ACT test that is used today. The ACT has evolved since 1959 in becoming a successful nonprofit organization. This program now offers millions of education and career assessments not only in the United States, but throughout the world. Given the credibility and background information on the testing program, thanks to ACT.org, I will focus more on how the ACT is used in college. I think that the three most important determiners of where a student will enroll in college are the order of a student's college choice and where it is ranked, the distance they live from the college, and their ACT score. I personally believe that the ACT should not be a determiner of where a student will end up. It creates an extensive amount of stress on students and the chance of being let down upon declined acceptance. The ACT is a huge part of college and creates so much pressure on some students that they do worse when taking the ACT. According to ACT.org, the ACT is improving college and career readiness and success for everyone. So I ask, is it really doing that for everyone? I do not think the ACT takes into consideration anyone who may struggle in an area such as reading, writing, math, science, and/or English. The College Success webpage denoted, ACT's cognitive data tools can impact strategies for enrollment, advising, placement, and outcomes to better serve students at any level of proficiency and to better track growth through their collegiate career. I don't believe this is possible for anyone with reading or writing disorders. The website promotes success in college rather than approximates success. The ACT's prediction of college success does not take into account people who have testing disabilities. Those who may have a variety of problems when testing or may have a minor handicap when completing a test are the ones affected by the ACT. There are many unnoticed variables that need to be taken into consideration with the ACT. I use credoreference.com to help get an idea of what problems were associated with students and taking the ACT. There are several factors that are overlooked, undiscovered, and are not taken into account when it comes time for testing. Anyone who is scared to admit they have a testing problem to be in denial of the problem, or even someone who fails to realize their problem, are all negatively affected by taking the ACT. The college in which they plan on attending may not notice or be aware of these problems. Some of the problems I am talking about include physical disorders like depression, lack of sleep, or an addiction to alcohol or drugs. Psychological disorders include anxiety disorders, major agoraphobia, which is the fear of being in public places, and more. Bullying is also overlooked. In addition, learning disorders such as ADD, ADHD, and dyslexia can also have a major impact on the ACT test. These factors and variables need to be looked at in order to accurately predict student success in college. The latest 2012 ACT score results show that 60% of graduates are ill-prepared for college and careers. I use this to show why the ACT cannot predict success. According to a recent article, latest ACT results prove needs for at-risk students. I think that the standards of taking and receiving grades on the ACT are way too high. I believe that if the study habits throughout elementary, middle, and high school are used in studying for the ACT, maybe they can accurately predict the success someone will have in college. In conclusion, all the variables and factors that may not be in consideration with the ACT and success need to be. Many colleges fail to notice the achievements and successes students have already had because they focus so much on the ACT. If schools were based off the ACT, maybe the program could measure student success in college. As of right now, there is no conclusive evidence showing any of the factors or variables I previously discussed can predict success if not taken into consideration. Some factors you may recall were testing anxiety, ADD, bullying, drugs, and disorders. These, along with other variables, need to be taken into consideration when predicting college success.